Fresh here in this 2-game series. So, yeah, here we are. You know, we've gotten a preview now of both of these teams here throughout today. Of course, Sync going off against Bad Mikey Gaming in the first series. They ended up splitting that one. And then, sure enough, Fresh was then to play BMG, and they split that series as well. So here we are now, them facing off against each other. And it's safe to say, you know, both of them definitely have had their shining moments. And looking forward to see how they now compare against one another here. So, yeah, a lot of storylines. This should be a pretty fun series here. And excited to get it started here. So, Near joining me once again here as my co-caster, of course. There is the other series going on as well, which would be Reason Gaming versus Revolution. I assume that they even started a little bit earlier. But, again, we'll keep an eye on that one. But this is the one that I think for good reason is safe to say that we're casting here. So, all right. The picks and bans already well underway, so let's get into it. Midas, Tremble, Ophelia, Behemoth were the bans. We have Magnus into Glacius, Moira into Wild Soul. Now, I know Zlapt, especially now that he's a Catholic, he's made it very clear. He likes to play Wild Soul, and he's going to play it here, so.
I think so as well. It could be a solo for someone else and he picks a jungler, but I really think it's a slap that Wild Soul here as well. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, gets it for him, so. Ooh. Oogie in response, good with the AoE damage against a Wild Soul.
Yeah, there are different heroes that are pretty good against Wild Soul. Actually, Terror is pretty good against it with the Q and the E. Keeps it in place and does a ton of damage to it, but Terror is not. It has a lot of other flaws that makes it not pickable. But Oogie is also strong because it can just stand toe-to-toe with it. Predator is a pick we've seen throughout, so it's definitely some response picks to the hero. I think the hero is still trying to find his groove. Like, where is it the best? Where do you win the game with that hero? Where's your timing? I think people are still trying to figure it out. But it farms a lot, really fast. But we've also seen Wild Souls with 500 plus GPM lose games, so it's still an interesting hero to me to see where it honestly belongs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, again, Slapto getting very comfortable with it, is safe to say, and like I said, just likes to play it too. So we'll see how he makes it work here for Sync. Like, I guess it's not 100% sure going to be in his hands, but yeah, it's very likely. It just seems like they've been doing here. So the bans, Lodestone into Bubble so far. Here's Pharaoh into Tempest. And now one more on either side to go, but pretty confident with these bans apparently. Prisoner was the final pick, of course, for Sync. Speaking of
I would say it's very unlikely, like you don't see a Glacius picked as the second hero of the game. That's not common though, so it's interesting to see that he second picked that. This means I think that he wanted to see more of the Legion side lineup before he picked the Wild Soul into it. Moira definitely not a kill hero in the lane early on. It relies on having other heroes to do the work for him or the damage, and then he comes in with the disables. So, yeah, a little bit curious to see the Glacius first pick.
Yeah, that's definitely not your typical go-to hero for first pick. Good point there, but they have it here. Zlapt, yeah, it's safe to say Zlapt is probably one of the more knowledgeable players on the scene just because of how much experience he has in it and how long he's been around and how much he plays it, of course, especially with the streaming that he does. But he hasn't been a captain for the longest time, hasn't been that drafter for the longest time. So, you know, he's definitely, it's a new territory in a sense, or at least it's been a while. So, take that into consideration too. But Puppet Master and Tundra are the final bans here. So Zlapt respecting that Tundra a little bit at the end. Different guy, played a pretty good one against BMG in the last series, and I know for a fact that Zlapt was watching that. We saw him in chat even. So, perhaps thinking about that. And now over to Fresh here for their fourth pick.
He's right-clicking a lot of carries. Yeah, okay, Riptide.
Huh.
Strong hero. It is going to be Prisoner plus Glacius mid, I would assume at least. So, maybe that slows down the hero a bit, but the hero is very strong early on, as we've seen before. If it's a one-on-one versus Prisoner, I definitely favor the Riptide.
It's interesting because the former Fresh team, I know when they picked Riptide, actually Pro Busk would play it for them, but I assume he's going to be on Oogie here.
Yeah, I think Tiltuk's still jungling here, and different guys, or Slaska maybe. Slaska plays it fine too, I think.
Yeah.
He did play offlane Behemoth here, he did play mid lane Parallax. Maybe he's just the Parallax player in the mid lane, and then see different guy play something else there. He played Tundra last game.
Yeah. I think you're right on that. I think Slaska is just kind of that. Okay, Parallax, sure, we'll play mid, but if not, then.
I mean, he has had a history with playing mid, but he is also now recently playing a lot of offlane, so it's might just be the hero.
Well, this is a team that's still trying to find their identity too. This was a much more recent of a formation, from my understanding. So, wanted to get something together to obviously play this cycle, and this is what they came up with. So, hey, but clearly off to a solid start. Hell, they split a series against BMG, and that was their first series so far in these group stages. So, looking to do pretty good here against Sync Hellbringer. Yeah,
it's a huge team fight here, and. Yeah, with Oogie as well, and Riptide. I mean, they have a strong team fight set up.
Now, how are the lanes going to look, though? Is that going to be a secondary support Hellbringer?
It's possible. Maybe to take a page from BMG's book and pull with Magnus.
What then? Who would Suicide?
Oh, yeah, okay, true.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, it's probably a solo Hellbringer then, and then it's a solo Riptide, and then they tri-lane with the others. But then they have to off-lane, tri-lane the Oogie. Or they have to tri-lane the... It might be a second support Hellbringer then, and then they farm the Magnus. Yeah, that makes more sense. Mm-hmm. And then they have the hard support Moira, and the Riptide and Oogie are solo laning. And then the Moira and Hellbringer are trying to roam around, finding kills wherever they can. Because I guess they're trying to... The mindset is we're gonna block Wildsoul camps and try and annoy him and slow down his farm. But he will eventually pick up the farm, so I'm not sure that's the best strategy against the hero. You could void the camps.
Oh.
They go Mage Bane here. Okay, so their strategy is to dodge them, try and find a pickoff with Prisoner, and then just farm. And the Legion side are trying to, we have to kill here.
Very greedy lineup, but at the same time, Mage Bane versus Oogie. That's going to be fun to see. Think all the way back to when Oogie first came out. We had that matchup. What was that? It was back when Tralf was still playing, I want to say.
Yeah, I think it was Tralf Oogie. It was something like Luke G Mage Bane, where we saw that the first time. Way back.
Man, this combo here also. But, yeah, we'll see how hacks it. Again, he loves Mage Bane. He's made that very clear. Going to get the chance to play it right here. So, but yeah, as you pointed out, this is a very greedy lineup on the Hellborn side. Both him and Wildsoul especially. A lot of avoiding. A lot of we want to farm early on and eventually take fights. But we'll see if they're allowed to do that. Or Fresh is going to be on the ball.
I think if he could, he would play Mage Bane, Dark Lady, and Tremble all game. Or all the time.
Got to rotate through those three heroes, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Pause coming out here. Okay, so it doesn't. Hellringer is being played by Bunny Lover. He's their main support even. So they're gonna just main support the Hellbringer, and they're actually gonna secondary support the Moira here. Try to get him that portal key.
When you get the portal key, it's actually a huge initiation tool. Don't underestimate that. I mean, it's very, very good. So can definitely catch them as well. And you can get the Mana Sunder onto something like a Mage Bane maybe. Take him down.
Yeah. All right. The other series, by the way, I was looking out for that, and it is in game number 1 right there. So, again, Reason versus Revolution. It looks like Revolution has a decent lead against Reason Gaming, about 25 minutes in, but hey, also running a Mage Bane there, in fact, in their game. But let you know how that one continues to shape up here, but this one definitely has potential to be pretty good as well. Riptide's been an interesting hero to witness. I feel like, you know, he's kind of made a, here comes a pun, a splash onto the scene. Yeah. Do you think he's a really powerful hero? I mean, do you think that you understand why people are playing him?
I do, but I also think you need to keep the momentum going, and when he has a good start, so you keep the pressure up. I think that's where the hero shines the most. If you sit back and farm, after that, I mean, the hero's still going to do some damage, but I don't think he is as effective as the game goes on. You really have to keep the pressure up with the snowballing start that he can get,
Yeah.
bring to the table. He can lock down another hero in a 1v1 situation completely. Keep that, yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, yeah, I have nothing more to say.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. By the way, that's something else to bring up too. As Lap's pointing out there, but it was daylight savings time for Central European time. So you guys over there, you've had to kind of adjust here.
Yep.
As far as your time zone is gone. So what was it? You fell back, right? So you got an extra hour even, I want to say. So,
we did, yep.
But it's coming up to 11 at night right now, again, with this series getting delayed here. 11 local time for these guys, so.
It's getting a bit late.
Late.
With the pauses. It could be a bit frustrating for sure.
I'll have to deal with that, though.
Ask submitting it. Oh, yeah, you have to submit it before it gets. Oh, okay. Hopefully he has done it already, and then he's just uploading it to wherever.
Submitting assignment. Got to get that homework in. It is a new week coming up here.
Yeah.
Wants to make sure of that. But yeah, no, I feel like that is what we have seen every Riptide as you're getting at, though, is the games that we have been able to witness him. Exactly. He has a great start, or he has potential at least. He's very annoying in the laning phase, but he will taper off quite a bit as the mid to late game especially. So see how.
I would say I think here where you're looking to not let them farm out of control on Wild Zone and Mage Bane, then I think he's a great hero to try and just get hero kills and take towers after that. They do not have a push hero like Tempest or something like that, Wild Soul Void Beast. So they will need to get hero kills into towers to really pressure that advantage. Everything else is it's not gonna be worth it. So that's the only downside of the lineup here.
See both teams not going too aggressive right here. Gonna play pretty safe overall. Not sure what Prisoner's doing. Dropping items, picking them up. It's bored, I guess. Waiting for those creeps to spawn.
Keeping that APM up.
Yeah, that too.
Oh.
Actually, I don't know. I don't think it actually tracks APM until the game officially starts. I wonder if that's the case. Maybe it does, actually.
I'm not sure. I have no idea.
I don't know about that. That's important. We should figure that out. It's the most important stat. Yeah. That always boggled my mind. Like, there's two players that were very popular. Sender way back in the day, he was known for having insanely low APM, like under 100. And Keizu actually has pretty low APM, which I've always found so interesting. I really don't get that, but
every time I played Ophelia, mine was like 90 to 100, and every time I played something else, it jumped up to 120 and 30, and it should be the other way around. I never honestly figured out why that was. But well, it's a bit weird.
I think it has to do with, like, the creeps technically don't count for your APM. I think it's what it is. So that's why your APM will tend to be lower on heroes like Ophelia, yeah.
Okay. But I think the guy with the highest APM right now is probably Brave for my team. His is always like 180 or 200 or something. Incredible. I haven't really watched the other players here. I don't really look at that stat, but his is always high.
Yeah. Such an important stat, though.
Definitely.
And those Laptis
got a 180 last game.
Laptis usually in the 200s, I want to say.
Yeah.
Impressive stuff. Okay, what's going on here? Let's say Probuz crashed, turned to the assignment, ended up crashing. Coming back now, though. She's back in, good to go. Okay, so the lanes are set up here. Prisoner Glacius versus the Riptide. That's what you're suggesting.
Yep.
So
I think that's good for them. They do a free fire Moogie, but they're fine with that if they can have free fire Mage Bane, but they don't really. They have a dual lane up here with Moira Magnus. So he's going to be soloing, just getting the experience and then hoping his team can make some space for him in the mid-late game.
You got Hellbringer again in that main support role. It seems like Hellbringer again can be a pretty good support actually as far as harassment and everything in the end.
Oh, more access.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. Ooh. Ogi was out of mana for a third one.
Yeah, it's because it costs more mana as you use more of them, so... Yeah, he needs 100 of it, yeah. Guessing he's just gonna give him a head start here on Hellbringer, and then he might look to rotate mid. But then again, if he does rotate, they will be too far behind in that lane maybe. So maybe he's just gonna keep here, being level 1 here with Meraxes.
Yeah, Magnus at the tower up here with the Mage Bane kind of messing with him a little bit. Takes a couple of tower hits though. Need to be careful about that.
Oh, they do have the lane control now, but they did not void the pull. That's not so good, because then Mage Bane can pull it up there, get the lane control back, and keep his farm up.
Yeah, going aggressive up here with the Moira. So trying to make the greed of the Wild Soul pick especially backfire into them. Do you think sending Glacius top could be a good decision here for the Hellborn team, or is it just not worth it?
No, he's just gonna feed to the Moira Magnus. He can't really do anything and secure him any farm. I mean, Mage Bane can't really kill with him either. It's not gonna happen. So just staying mid, nerfing the Riptide's farm is the best way to go.
They're accomplishing that. You see, different guy knows he has to play it very, very safe. Look at this, even a Rev Horde here in the middle lane. So really just making sure to lock down Riptide as much as they can. Glacius positioning himself to do so.
Sure. I mean, he can't really do anything elsewhere as it is right now. Maybe he could have been bottom, contested that from Meraxes, but then again, then Riptide would have been dominating his lane, and they would have only gotten even down bottom. So I think just losing bottom and then winning mid hard is the way to go here. It's the right decision from Serenia to be here.
Bottom lane, Oogie versus the Moraxis. Obviously, Oogie does have the Hellbringer support, as we saw earlier especially. 2-level advantage currently. Pushing to the tower, though, so Moraxis is probably going to get it. Yep, there we go, level 3 at least. As Hellbringer doing some stacking in the meantime, getting ready for Oogie there to eventually transition and pick up some farm in the jungle, perhaps try to get some levels on Hellbringer then. He's going to position himself very aggressively against the Moraxis here. But needs to be a little careful. In fact, he misses the Death Boil. And now he's on the run a little bit, but now Moraxis takes some good damage. Oogie can knock Darkquake once again. There's the stomp, and Hellbringer goes down. That's not what you wanted. Conflagrate is activated. He is going to kill Moraxis. Is Probusk, but gives up the Bloodlust just prior to that.
Yeah. At least he gets a return kill, so it's not as impactful. So Meraxes only has a TP and doesn't have the boots yet, at least. But, yeah, not what you want to happen. Whoa, what? How?
Yeah, they just. I'm like, wait a second, what? They just pushed the top tower in.
Wait, Moira has been pulling the creeps like this.
Yeah.
But, wow. I saw that was a huge wave there, but okay. So that happened. I guess it's gonna actually secure them a bit of farm on Mage Bane if he can get the lane up here. But then Wild Soul is not in the best of spot if the lane is pushed. So yeah, not the greatest. Should almost Hellbringer should have boots soon as well. Get some farm on Oogie.
Oh, Oogie's in trouble. Yep, he's gonna go down right there. Hellbringer can't do a whole lot, especially at level 1 with only Death Boil or Demonic Wave, as I guess it's technically called. But get the point there and. Could not scare them off, so Glacius and Moraxis coming together to get a big kill on
Oogie. From Serenia there. That's what you want to see, especially when you're playing against the all-mid Riptide.
If he was level 6, this is probably an easy kill, but is not, so. Riptide is going to be fine, but yeah, double damage prisoner. Feeling the pain on that. He needs to be careful not to get hooked again, so. He's going to go really deep. Man, these puddles, he keeps putting them back further and further, I feel like.
And this Glacius rotation has kind of forced Moira to get down here now, so it's going to free up space for Mage Bane.
Oh, Glacius in the
is he going to get away from that?
He actually is. Nice job cutting through the trees. In fact, Moraxis coming in. Nice job with the Mana Sunder, but as he pointed out, they don't have boots. And look at Moraxis. He's so fast compared to them. Nice job with the fear, but it's not going to be enough of a hold here. Moira does have her Shards of Harkon. Couldn't get it up in time, though.
And he's also expecting Moraxis to press W, but he doesn't have it, actually. You can click on the hero and see the amount of armor he has to check it out. It's a little hint there. But,
good point. Huh, that's a really good point. But yeah, he did not have it, and...
Yeah. He hasn't been leaning against him, so knowing it is kind of... Then you have to click on him in the moment, but yeah.
Zibe is 2-1-1 as a Suicide Moraxis. That's pretty good.
he was the guy that they were supposed to at least dominate, and the Mage Bane too, and it hasn't happened really. So it's not good. Now Moira's down here because Probosk is struggling. He got killed by the Glacier's rotation. I mean, it's really a huge rotation from Serenia here, forcing them to be here because now Mage Bane has free point top and the Wild Soul as well. It's really what they're looking for. Even though he's not getting any kills or experience or something, he's just making sure they have free heroes here.
Glacius rotating back before he does get caught, but as he pointed out, keeping them active, keeping them busy, keeping them distracted, however you want to put it. Meanwhile, Wild Soul is just doing his thing. 349. I clicked on XPM for a second. I was like, holy crap. But yeah, he is the highest level as well. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Hellbringer, Shards of Harkon going to look to maybe try to turn something here. But instead, their creeps are just being stolen from them, and they can't do really anything about it, as they just don't have enough firepower here to deal with this. Moraxis is level 6.
Even have a haste in this bottle. I mean, this is not looking good for them. When Moraxis is just can do whatever he wants down here.
It's kind of funny that he's just kind of coming back and killing creeps right in front of the supports here. But yeah, they can't do a damn thing. Wild Soul, meanwhile, coming mid. Where the hell's this bear? Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's a tower kill.
He can go Roshan or Conqueror real soon as well. It's I mean, they're just gonna take over everything with the Wild Soul right now, and Wild Mage Bane forms. Because of the start that Maraxis has, it's really putting them far ahead.
Can he do Conqueror with no lifesteal item, just with the lifesteal from the abilities? You could just do it.
I think so, yeah.
Cast.
I'm pretty sure he can, yeah. I haven't played the hero myself, I have to be honest, but I've seen Wild Souls do it.
Yeah.
So I'm not really entirely sure what items they have, but I think he can do it without any items.
Moraxis! Well, I guess when he sent 4 heroes on him and an eruption from Agnes,
it
can work. But the
I think
fact that they did that, I mean...
Yeah. Mage Bane's free farming. So is Wild Soul. He's just farming down here as well. Putting up the pressure, and Prisoner's farming too. I mean, it really doesn't matter that he dies there for 4 years. But they're doing the strat all in Probosk right now. Try and see what happens from that, securing his farm.
Yeah, Wild. So I'm actually intrigued to see what Slapped goes for. I don't know what he just bought here. He does have Steam Boots on himself. He's going for Ghost Marchers on his Boo Boo. Interesting. There's a lot of Wild Souls. They tend to just leave the boots red on Boo Boo. But no, he is going to upgrade them, and he gets Mystic Vestments on himself. So he's going a little bit more of the old school, even.
I think it's good, though, to get the Ghost Marches. At least make sure you can get some auto attacks off with the bear, especially at this point of the game. It's a lot of hero damage output. Later on, it's probably not. So having it now it's pretty good.
Yeah. And again, the Mystic Vestments even on himself, so he's really just trying to make sure to tank up a bit early on, knowing that the swipe damage especially is able to do plenty if fights do get involved. Bottom lane Prisoner. Oh, he voids the undertow. There's 5 heroes here, though. And they will collapse for the kill. He was infamous, so if anything, he thought he was fine. But he wasn't. So again, it's like, okay, they're getting kills, but you look at the big picture here. Mage Bane especially just free farming top lane while this is all happening.
Exactly. I mean, if we look at the creep kills to score, I mean, it's not where they want to be on the Legion side. I mean, even Magnus is starting to roam around, not farming top anymore, because of how things have been shaping up, because of this Max is going out of control.
Yeah. You could take away Wild Soul, Wild Soul's creep farm from this game right now, and the Hellborn team is still winning in creep farm by a bit. It looks like even so. That's ridiculous. Glacius. He's getting caught by a couple of heroes himself. Here comes Wild Soul trying to assist, but Oogie in that Primal Surge. Got the kill on a Glacius. Now trying to run, though, because that swipe's slow. He knows that it's going to be wearing off soon with the Primal Surge. Yep. He will get away, though. Double damage on him. Want him to be pretty useful right there. Probosk is 400 gold per minute now. So Oogie is farming pretty well here. Riptide has definitely been the miss here, I think is safe to say. Again, it goes back to really like Riptide. In fact, he's just going back and forth up here with the Eye of the Storm, but you really need him to snowball. Yeah, and he's not going to.
Is he able to solo kill him though by his abilities alone? I haven't played with the silence. Maybe it could be possible because Mage Bane only has 900 life. If he's farming on agility, he's gonna have 700 and something, 50 or something. So it might be possible.
God, it's, you know, if Mage Bane has his magic shield up, definitely not. But if he happens to catch it without that flash armor up, then yeah.
Yeah,
I think
true.
it could be possible.
But their timing is definitely unfortunate. This is where he decides to leave the top lane, and that's when they're up there, so...
Oh, middle lane. Riptide might be in trouble. Prisoner. Wild Soul, everybody's here. Oh, the hook is just out of range.
That's close.
Very close. Comes up short, though. Soul's Bulwark is going to be one of the first major item choices for Wild Soul here, being delivered. So definitely more of a I want to push earlier on kind of item here.
Yeah. I think it's also because of how the game is going. He decides to do this. He doesn't have to hard carry either, so getting teamfight items is probably the best way to go here.
True.
Soul's Bulwark, Abyssals, maybe.
Oh, Magnus, he's dead. Nice catch on him. Shackle, it's such a hard counter to Magnus. Obviously, 2 of his abilities essentially useless.
Yeah.
So good catch there.
It's really hard to see a way out of this for the Legion side. They need to get some fights going. Try and catch the Prisoner and the Marxus. Try and ignore the Mage Bane. Oh, they're getting Marxus here, maybe.
Yeah, Maraxis gonna get caught here. Down he goes. So Riptide going in with the Eye of the Storm.
But they can't really get towers either after that kill. It's a rough spot to be in. That's for sure.
You know,
you can't outfarm them, and you don't really have the late game. So yeah, you're saying.
Well, I feel like Slapped is almost like gonna. He reminds me right now what he's doing is he's playing like an MMORPG, like a World of Warcraft or something. He's just doing like a quest grind, and he's just going to the same path, like over. It's almost like he's a bot over and over again. He's done this several times where he goes to this top camp here in the Legion jungle, and he sits in the river while the bear comes up here to give him vision, and he just auto attacks it from the river. He kills it, then he goes to the Ancients here. These happen to be stat. He does these, goes back to his jungle. He's just going in these circular paths, and it's just his GPM is just 518 gold per minute now. Obviously, again, he knows what he's doing with this. But meanwhile, bottom lane, they're chasing down. Moira's in trouble. Arcane Vortex going to come out. There comes Malphys, but that was not the greatest synergy right there. They were not on the same page, that's for sure. Malphys essentially wasted.
And when you have to use those 2 ultimates just to get away, that's even more alarming to the spot you're in.
Yeah, very true.
Magnus is nowhere near Blink either.
Wait, Mage Bane died. What?
Wait, what?
Riptide killed him.
Top. Huh.
Neither one of us caught
yes,
that.
Magnus done and then Riptide.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah.
This is an assist from Slaska. Okay, I did not catch that either.
Yeah.
Okay, that's huge for them. Or at least the start, but it's the lead was still 6k even so yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, again, a good kill, but meanwhile, bottom lane, Magnus being chased out. Gonna be fine there. Mage Bane, in fact, joins them down here. He actually just about has a Rune Cleaver. He literally 1 creep kill away. Make sure to last hit this one, as he does. Now he has the 2nd broadsword. So the Rune Cleaver on its way. So yeah, keeping him in check a little bit, but even after that death, he still has more farm than Oogie. And then, oh, by the way, Wild Soul at 515 gold per minute. So he's gonna go solo Kongor now. That's what you're talking about. He's got the Soul's Bulwark set to defensive, so making use of it there.
He put the Warp Cleft on the bear as well, so he's actually really close to Demonic here. It's 15 minutes.
Wow.
So yeah, but you're talking about the path that you chose before. The reason he's down here is just to leave the jungle for the Mage Bane, and then as well as nerfing the farm on the Yogi is the more important thing. Making sure they can't try stack, and then just farming their area, forcing them further back away from the map here. But they do see him go for Roshan here, or Kongor, sorry. Don't know why I call it that. But,
How dare you?
Sorry.
It's Kongor.
It's Kongor.
The beloved ape. Well, in this case, he's Franken Kongor.
Yep.
No, that's fine. We know what you mean.
This could be a huge momentum swing if they manage to get the token and Wild Soul Killer.
Oh, Moira coming in. Riptide as well. Everybody! And down goes Wild Soul. See this several times now. All 5 collapse together. Meanwhile, Oogie gets pulled in, though, by Prisoner. As he's just going to hold his ground, though. Pops a Primal Surge. He's going to look to help turn it. Glacius will fall. Double tap for different guy. So not only do they hold, but they're going to steal it to finish it all off.
Yeah. If they can get this, that's huge for them. Prisoner does have a hook real soon.
He's not going to go for it, though. He knows that it might result in his death, so he says no.
Okay. That's some positive there. It's gonna swing the momentum a little bit. They're still behind because Magebane also has the Rune Cleaver and also is still farming a lot here. But they can get a tower too, that's huge. And they have that token to maybe force some more tower pushes. Not that I think that Hellborn will try and defend them anyways, but
Prisoner kind of doing that here in the middle lane, maybe trying to make a play. He goes for the hook, he misses. Needs to run away immediately as the tower is killed, so they close the gap a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. I feel like when we have seen some Wild Soul lineups, you're kind of getting at that too, where you know, you get Wild Soul, then you get kind of the, sure, you get somewhat of a hard, but like a Doctor Repulsor or like, you know, that kind of carry, not like a just absolute hard carry in a Magebane who will be able to take care of that anyways himself. So that's what we see here. And so the fact that, yeah, Wild Soul died right there, they lost a token, as you pointed out. I mean, Magebane's still just going off as far as farm.
yeah.
You got to worry about that too. And again, he's a great hero to have against Oogie for that matter. So there's that.
They should probably have gotten some vision for that before they went in for that. It's easy to say after, but you should. I mean, even if Glacius can't afford it, just buy it yourself on Wild Soul if you want to go for a Conqueror like that. So
Yeah. Interesting. You know, I didn't even really think about this until, how does Magebane's mana combustion hold the thought, because here we go, jump on a Magebane. Man, look at Riptide, is it enough? Yes, it is.
solo him.
There you go, so that answers that question. Meanwhile, Prisoner off to the side, Malphite even comes down, and Prisoner is gonna die. They're just moving together, man, but it is working, actually.
It is. And I think it's a little bit of a problem that Slav started going top again. It puts Magebane in this situation where he's trying to find bottom instead. And I think Slav should be the one down here, just keeping up the rotation that he did before. It doesn't matter that they really have that token. I think he can still farm down there.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be that big of an issue. And then leave the top lane and the jungle to Magebane. So he can get those 5, 6, 700 TPM that he's comfortable with.
Pushing in the middle lane now. See Oogie again leading the way with that. A token of life right here. Still 2.5 minutes remaining, so easy tower kill. And gonna most likely fall back from there. Some more access, does get the portal key, but so does Magnus, and there's a shrunken head. Now, Riptide sure enough finished after it, but a lot of items being purchased across the board, including that demonic breastplate. Jeez.
Yeah.
What'd you mention on Moira?
I think she bought a Void Talisman there as well.
Oh.
So they do not want to get chased down by Wild Soul or Magebane or even Prisoner. It's actually a huge item in this game. That's probably gonna keep them alive for like against all of them. So,
yeah.
I mean, Glacius can kill them. Axis has magic damage, but that's kinda it. Glacius chasing you down, that's probably not gonna happen. He's level 7, so yeah.
Look at Riptide down here. He was looking for somebody. He's going to find Magebane, but doesn't get there in time. See, he's a scary presence when he's running around with that Eye of the Storm. But now, wears off. They're going to try to counter on him. Shackle comes out. Hook is going to miss right there. Man, that was a good rune to have with the illusion there.
Yep.
That proved to help him get away.
Striking it too. Are they going to catch? Oh, they're not.
Well. It's just going to be fine here. Falling back behind the tower. But yeah, so what I was getting at before that fight broke out was that Magebane's mana combustion with the primal surge of Oogie is kind of interesting. How the mana combustion does more damage, you know, with the mana, burns the mana, but when Oogie takes damage, he gets restored on mana. So it's like, he's just going to die right here on purpose. The token, but yeah, that's actually, I don't know. It's I assume it's still like really good, obviously, but it's just kind of an interesting idea. It's almost like it helps Magebane more because he's going to be constantly doing more damage to you because you'll have all that mana pool. But it will make his ultimate less likely because he won't be as low on mana. I don't know.
It's definitely, yeah. I think the hugest thing is just bottom initiation.
Who did they catch there? That's Prisoner. Looks like a lot of TPs coming in, though. You see the Conflagrate up, the Ooga Booga scaring them off. Middle lane in the meantime. No, Magnus going to be fine, actually. Gets away. So, man, this aggressive play here from Fresh.
Yeah, it's paying off. And they do have the stronger team fight, but I just didn't assume that the Hellborn was going to take any team fights. Just try and pick them off. And then farm onto Magebane and Wildstorm. Magebane need a couple more items before he wants to really commit. But when they get kills, they can take towers after, and that's what's happening here.
Freeze on Oogie. Nope, not going to follow it up, though. Yeah, I think Wildstorm really wants to get that shrunken head before he actually feels comfortable trying to pick fights here.
Yeah. I'd like to see him pick up Abyssal, too. It's really strong for Magebane and Wildstorm.
Yeah.
So I think he should get that after the shrunken head. I mean, they have 4 melee heroes. You should have it, at some point at least.
How about Pro Bus getting a Null Stone here on Oogie?
That's against the... Yeah, it has to be against Magebane though. That's the main reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Shrunken Head is not that great because it's a lot of physical. And if you don't want to get Glaciers frozen, I mean, it feels really dumb if you're 500, 600 DPM and what kills you is because you're getting Ice Imprisonment by Glaciers. So Nullstone kind of secures the same thing. And it gives you more mana too, survivability. I think it might be okay, but then you should not get a Shrunken Head this game.
Okay. Yeah, definitely one of the bigger criticisms of Pro Bus as a carry. It seems like he likes to build very defensively a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, if he passes Shrunken Head next, I do not agree. So.
Okay. So Nullstone, good for now. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Wild Soul again. He's still trying to finish his own Shrunken Head here. As the Mighty Blade, Moraxis picks up his own. You got Prisoner having a Mighty Blade. So a lot of Shrunken Heads going to be coming out here, of course, against the Nogi. Always makes sense. Magebane, in fact, already has his. And he went for a priority to follow up the Rune Cleaver right here. So top tower push. This is the last outer tower. It's going to be destroyed here. But this does go back to the really greedy lineup of Sync. Again, both Wild Soul and Magebane especially. This is a very... we don't want to fight for the first 30 minutes kind of team. Yeah, that's showing now.
Sure.
Gone on.
They're starting to lose out a bit on space, because if there was no Wild Soul, or if there was no Magebane, both of those heroes could have farmed more. So they need to have at least one of them start to farm their enemy jungle here, and their Asians. Oh. Magebane almost gets caught by Riptide, but he escapes it.
That's one of the bigger downsides of Riptide Ultimate against Blink-style heroes, is that it's pretty obvious that he's coming close to you and he gets near, so...
You need to see where they blink to, so you can follow them.
Yeah.
Then it's pretty strong, because then the blink is on cooldown when you hit them as well.
That'd be interesting, almost like a Bloodhunter effect. If they blink when they're near you, you can see them for a couple seconds. Buff to Riptide, let's go! He needs buffs.
Yeah, we need more buffs. It's definitely not strong enough in the lane.
Definitely not. Hellbringer's impact, again, is... I feel like the Malphus that he has used haven't been that great, but it's still there. It's the threat.
It's still there. Yeah, exactly.
You gotta deal with.
It's still there. You still have to deal with it, and it's very tough. So, then he is maxing out the Q here, so he has two times the fear here to benefit in the team fight as well.
You see they're huddled around Conger. I don't know if Conger's going to be resurrecting soon, or if they're trying to make a play here. You see Magnus maybe trying to bait him, but it's not going to happen. Another Void Talisman, by the way. Wow, yeah, 3 Void Talismans here. Magnus, you mentioned Moira earlier, and Hellbringer. All having that Void Talisman.
It's a very important item. It's good that they realize it, that this is a strong item, because it's going to make sure that they don't die. And, I mean, getting 5-man wiped is very unlikely when you have 3 of those Void Talismans.
Yeah.
Also looking at the item build here of Moira, you should max out the Ephemeral Forge. Level 1 of that is really not high enough. Oh, Glacius.
God, they're really going in for that Glacius. Well, they got it.
When they lost those earlier fights, it's really tough to be a Glacius when you have Wild Soul and Magebane just farming, not wanting to take fights. You have really no place. So even that you're standing your tier 3 towers and you can get Doven and there's no response from your team. That's an annoying game to play.
Yeah, Serenia, maybe not a fan of this game, but hey, trying to do what he can to get a victory for the team. That's what matters, of course, in the end. So
he had a huge impact early on, being down bottom, helping Maraxis getting kills there, forcing everyone away from top. I mean, that really set up the high GPM on both Walsall and Mage Pain.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this really has been an interesting pace of this game, because you would figure with a huge lead for Sync earlier on, not, I guess a huge lead, but they had a decent lead earlier on, that was going to just be way more to their benefit. But I mean, obviously, at the same time, Fresh started to turn it on, get some more kills, play this very active game of sticking them together a lot and ganking left and right. And they've closed the gap here at least a little bit since then. But Sync is still in the lead as far as the stats suggest. And the longer this game does continue to go on, again, it goes back to you got to be pretty worried. Now, Oogie at the same time does have history being a very, very scary late game carry, but against Magebane, I figure that's not going to be as much of a threat. I think is the biggest issue here.
Yeah, exactly. That matchup is not good. But if he has an Allstone up and that's going to be up all the time, then Magebane cannot ulti him. So
yeah,
in that sense, it's going to be trouble for Magebane if he gets caught.
Kongor. This is going to be a free Kongor kill.
The last Kongor fight definitely swung the game in favor of Legion here, and it looks like they're going to get this uncontested.
Quick pause coming out right here, but yeah, I mean, and also look at Oogie, what he's going for too, the Frostfield play, but it goes back to a lot of physical presence, all these Void Talismans coming out. I think Frostfield actually be a good pickup here.
Yeah,
very good to get.
I like it too. It also slows the attack speed and move speed of all of them, so it's very good here. 4 melee heroes too, so it's definitely gonna hit them.
You definitely know we have a very greedy lineup when not only do they only have 5 hero kills in 27 minutes, but Wild Soul's 0-1-0 and Magebane's 1-2-0. They're just when they want to farm. Obviously, doing everything they can to do that. I mean, and they are the top 2 farmers, but Oogie is actually keeping up with them, despite them just avoiding and trying to free farm here.
Yeah. I mean, they have the better team fight, and then they have him for damage. So it's an interesting scenario, I would say. For Hillbund to win it, they have to get a good hook off and kill 1 or 2 heroes that are getting hooked.
The Hellborn team's ready. Wonder what Wild Soul's going to be getting next. You mentioned the Abyssal Skull. I mean, it really would be great for this Hellborn team and 5 or 4 melee lineup in general. Yeah, they need it on
someone has to pick it up. Anyone.
Anybody.
Yeah. It's probably not the best on Magebane because he's going to have to sell it eventually. So.
Yeah. To be fair, you could argue that the Legion team could, well, they would probably want more than Gnome's Wisdom, especially with the Oogie.
Yeah.
Use that Ring of the Teacher, though. Again, a lot of physical here, of course. Which obviously they're aware of with the way they're building their items.
Hillbringer does have a major totem on him. It could be, but I think it's a tablet. But he could make a Gnome's Wisdom, too. When you have an Oogie, it's a pretty good item. So, as you stated.
Yeah, it's... I guess stats aren't bad, but down here, Riptide gets caught. Yeah, Mana Rift to secure it.
Yeah.
Decent size.
A little too confident there. And he doesn't have a Vestment either.
Yeah, he has a Shrunken, but obviously couldn't use it there. So good jump on him. Another 2,200 gold on Magebane, so Geometer's Bane. Very possibly. Is Geometer's Bane the best option here? There's a lot of AoE here on this Legion side. I feel like these illusions are going to die really quickly.
I think they're going to split push, so that might be fine here. Oh, Magnus and Oogie.
Yep.
This could be a disaster for them if they get caught here by 4 heroes.
What a ward, too, from Prisoner. Oh, man, but they're not nearby. They actually run. It seems like Wild Soul's out there, Magebane blinking away. Man, they really underestimated what their chances were there.
Yeah, but they did not see Moira Hillbringer, so I think that they're just playing it safe. They don't know if they have 4 there.
Definitely a chance, but coming up short, Magebane. Just like a silhouette, though, is very, very rapid with farm as the game progresses on. It's going to be that nuisance of constantly split pushing, counter pushing, whatever you want to call it. So That's just another level that Fresh is going to have to deal with here. They're going to group up and try to make a push bottom, it looks like. They do got the token, remember.
Yeah, but right away Wildsoul's running mid, and Mage Pain is already hitting the top tier 3.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to lose the tower right here.
Time here, yeah. And they have to go back, I think. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe they're just going to exchange racks here, but they're going to take this a bit slower, so...
Well, they're definitely committed to sticking in here. Here we go, 1 TP coming back. See, Riptide was trying to find somebody, doesn't though.
He's hitting range racks. Hit the melee racks.
Yeah, what is Riptide doing? Meanwhile, Oogie gets pulled away. And he has a token, he almost likes this right here. He's already at half life. He doesn't want a Primal Surge yet. He is going to, though. In the meantime, Mage Bane blinking in, though. Prisoner dead. He buys back. Both of the racks are still alive. Riptide trying to kill it. He finally does, but meanwhile, his team is falling to pieces. Glacius goes down, but now Oogie, he's trying to live. He does have the token still. Magnus in the back with the Eruption. Caught Meraxis, not enough for the kill, though. Prison Break on Hellbringer. He is going to be fine. Malphus already used it, of course. Nice tablet away, and actually Hellbringer going to live for the time being. Oogie, though, will eventually be killed off. They take out Riptide as well, and now Oogie by himself with the token coming back up. He does have a Primal Surge in 6 more seconds, but they can kill him before. Mana Rift is ready to go from HP, by the way. He needs to use it right here. There we go with the Mana Rift. That's what I'm talking about. And down it goes Oogie. So I was a little worried for Mage Man there for a second. Maybe the Null Stow was still on him, but
it took a bugger from Prisoner and Glacius, but Provost just ran after Glacius early on. I don't know why he does that. They need to focus another target that's a core, either the Mage Bane or focus the Wild Soul or even Prisoner or Meraxis. He was just diving Glacius there. It's definitely not worth it. They need to focus their targets better.
So, although pretty scary, I mean, they do trade the racks in the end. As you mentioned, they did get the 2 buybacks, Glacius and Prisoner, definitely the more important one, but now you see Sync is going to go right for a counter push. Oogie, he has a buyback, don't want to have to use it, but may need to. In fact, here we go as Riptide jumps in to follow this up. But yeah, Oogie's not buying back, and now Riptide's in trouble. Finally, Oogie does, but he's already lost a teammate in Riptide right there. So Oogie ports in, Nullstone going to be taken out, pops the Primal Surge. Looking to make a play, and again he's chasing Glacius, exactly as you're talking about. Magnus, in the meantime, is dusted out right here. Arcade Vortex pulls him in. Mage Bane now, though, is starting to drop a little bit. The Mana Center doing some work against him. He flashes away, though. The pull from Prisoner, it actually misses. Meraxis just standing his ground, trying to take out Magnus. Has to portal key away, though, before they turn on to him. So he's going to fall back. They got the buyback on Oogie, though, so they'll take it. They also got the tower kill. But yeah, I mean, I saw that too. It's a late buyback and a chasing a Glacius completely elsewhere. And then meanwhile, Teltic goes down as he's found by Haxerin. So
if Riptide survived that, they would have held it without him needing to buy back there. But yeah. So I can understand him not using it right away because he was also very close to resurrecting. But yeah, he should have used it right away.
It definitely is that tough spot. I mean, that's the worst case scenario. It's that not only do you wait a little bit longer and then you just use it anyways when it's then kind of too late. So it's like so now he's used the buyback. He spent the goal when really he had like 10 more seconds to resurrect, and so yeah, it really was a tough spot to be in, but did it nonetheless. And again, Sync comes out on top of there. So. He's still trying to finish that Frostfield play, too. It really shows you how kind of that's set him behind here.
He kind of chose to go for Sheepstick now, picking up a Blessed Orb instead.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, they do have Shrunken Heads. That might be the reason why he's going for that now instead.
Huh. Well, wants the Shrunken Head here, or the Sheepstick.
Yeah.
I mean,
but plus 10 armor is not bad. It's a pretty good item in itself. Just having a plate deal. So,
and to eventually be one, yeah, that's not out of the question, of course. So, yeah, Nullfire plate in the works here for Wild Soul, by the way.
Oh, okay. It's for Malphas, I would assume.
Yeah.
Just getting that out of the way. It does a ton of damage, actually. It's also level 2 Malphas now. And with the farm he has, it doesn't really feel like he's spending a lot of stuff or gold into dealing with it.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, he just finished it right there, it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, no. He sold. Never mind. Wait, he has more than enough for it. I don't know why he's not buying it yet. I guess the buyback.
Yeah, it might be buyback. I mean, at this point, you kind of have to keep a buyback, so it's alright.
Yeah.
I know it's only 34 minutes, but it kind of feels like it's really late game. 1 racks down for each team, 1 kill onto the enemy carry. It kind of will force a push at least.
So I brought this up earlier, but I think a fight broke out when it did. But the Geometer's been on Mage Bane, who, by the way, has another 5,800 gold now on top of that. But so you still think that it actually was a good pickup here?
I think it's good. It's not so good when you're trying to fight Oogie because the illusions die right away, as you said. But it's good when you want to split push. That's where it kind of shines.
Okay, yeah.
And if you're going for any other kill, it does more damage with Geometry, or he does a ton of damage with that. If you're trying to blink onto anyone else. But they do have the Void Talismans. It's just a hard item to miss or to not buy on Mage Bane, just because your illusions have the mana burn too.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Brutalizer picked up by Riptide, so has that now. But again, Riptide definitely in a spy like we talked about from the beginning. He really does start to taper off as the game. Not that he's completely useless. I mean, he still has value for sure. The silence in itself is pretty strong, and he's got some okay burst. Here, and the Brutalizer will help, but they're all in on Oogie
Brutalizer's good here. If you can like auto attack a Mage Bane too, and they can just finish him off, or even Wild Soul. They need some more disables too. It's a good item.
You know, speaking of Nullfire Blade, Mage Bane can actually get a Nullfire Blade himself now. Do you think there actually would be value in that?
No, I don't think so. I think honestly, even if he wants to get damage, getting a Harkon's Blade is even the way to go, because they have all the Vault Talismans.
Oh yeah.
You can 3, 4, 5 shot even Moira, Hellbringer, and Magnus.
Yeah, true. And Proboscis obviously with that plate mail help get through all that armor that he has here. So
no investments either. It's gonna give him. It's -5 magic armor, so it's gonna be true damage.
Wow.
With his attack. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think Harkon's looking great here. See, oh my gosh, look at that. He goes for it. Yeah, I love it. Anyways, here we go. They're gonna fight at this time. Malphus comes down. Look at a quick kill on a Moraxis. Malphus is still up, actually, not being purged just yet. By Wild Soul. There we go. It does kill it off right there. Riptide running away with the Eye of the Storm. They're in complete retreat mode. Obviously, Moraxis bought back, catches Hellbringer. So they might get 1 out of this. Or are they?
Oh, my.
Nope. He just ports out as they're looking. They're like, it's just Hellbringer. We want more.
Yeah. Nice TP out. They saw that buyback right away and they backed out. That was impressive. Good job by them. 1 kill and out.
Now they're going to have to deal with getting counter-pushed, though. And again, a Harkon's on Mage Bane. Have the Nullfire and Wild Soul. They do not have Malphus now. Riptide's ulti's down. I guess not a huge deal, but Malphus is definitely the big one here.
They do have level 16 Magnus with their option ready.
Gonna try to hold. Right Sheepstick on a Mage Bane. A big burst chance off the bat, but the pull, he pops the Shrunken Head. Looking to make a turn play. In comes the Arcane Vortex, though. Stalling a lot as always. They're coming out of it. Oogie just melts! That Harkon's play, no doubt, doing work with Wild Soul as well. Oogie just melted away. He does buy back for a second and final one, though. Trying to hold right here. Riptide dropping Half-Life the hook. It is going to miss, but he has to get the hell on out of there. Eruption coming in from Magnus, meanwhile. Glacius goes down. Prisoner goes down. Oogie, you see it, though. The Harkon's once again doing work with the mana burn. And Oogie will stay alive long enough to kill Mage Bane, but he does go down. Wild Soul is still plenty strong. As I say that, he takes a stun, though. He's out of ultimate form. He's in trouble, actually, and he will fall. So they do hold the racks. Another death on Oogie means that he doesn't have buybacks. But, hey, they hold it. And they don't lose a rack. So I guess overall pretty solid.
You said it in the beginning. They sheeped the Mage Bane, and then right off the bat you saw him Shrunken Head and Dewbane, and he was fine. Like half a second later, and slapped with that Nullfire, purged away the Sheepstick, and then they turned that fight. Else that would have been completely different if he did not have that Nullfire. That's another use of that item. Also MVP of that. And now Oogie no buybacks, so that's a tough spot to be in. But he needs some magic armor, right? He has to get it, or Shrunken Head. It's either. So that Harkon's Blade definitely a strong pickup.
Yeah, clearly the correct one here, you could say. So, yeah, what an Nullfire Blade purge, though. Well, Wild Soul definitely set the tone of that fight, but even though with it, gonna hold there for Fresh as they do save the rack. So 3,000 more gold on Wild Soul as he's going to resurrect here, and nearly 3,000 on Magebane as well. So, in fact, Magebane still has his Iron Shield. He still has an early game Iron Shield here, but hey, I guess it's something. Yep, as I say that, he gets rid of it, so never mind.
At this point, I also think he hit the Oogie like 3-4 times and he just died right off the bat. I mean, and that's an Oogie.
I don't. Yeah. I don't know if he actually used his mana rift there either.
I don't think he did. It was just the auto attacks with the Iron Blade. And then I think all the heroes were sitting in too. So
we'll set up the replay right here when we have an opening to maybe watch it. But yeah, I don't think he did. So that's something to note too about that last fight. But middle end in the meantime, Pole is going to miss. Try to go for Oogie. Good reaction though from Probusk. Saw it coming, so able to make this sidestep here.
If they're gonna push here, he should really get rid of that TP and get a Vestment at least.
Oogie? Yeah.
Yeah, Oogie.
Well, they're thinking about what to do. You could tell they're a little lost. I mean, Kongor is up. They're gonna pop a lot of field rot right here. Trying to make a play with that.
Something they really need on the Legion side. Oh, here we go.
Oh, the pull that hits both, actually. Oogie gets caught. Malphite comes down, hits multiple. Arcane Vortex, though. Pulls in several. Glacius after the side. Meanwhile, he's going to be bursting out. Oogie once again just melts right there. Doesn't stand a damn chance. Riptide on the run. He is going to be fine, it looks like. Oh, maybe not. Magebane wants to chase. He's thinking about it. Decides to go back, though. Figuring that he's already out of there. But Oogie's dead. Obviously, the Legion team, they're just trying to run away. Oh, actually, catch more access. Well, that mana rift just melts him, and down goes Hellbringer as well. So it's something, man. As soon as Oogie gets focused, you just see that life pool just drop away. And that's not something normal on Oogie. Usually we're used to seeing Oogies just being able to tank and just heal up constantly.
Yeah. And now in hindsight, you could say, okay, Shrunken Head would have been better than Nullstone, because then you can activate that and not take true damage from Magebane. Instead, you have 50% reduction of all his auto attacks. So
yeah,
that's a hindsight kind of thing. Also,
exactly, yeah.
Response of what happened in the fights, that they lost them, and then of course Magebane has a ton more farm.
Yeah. Magnus stunned in, and actually Riptide is trying, but again, just too much damage in return. Ain't gonna happen. Magebane gonna be fine. Another 6,000 gold saved up for him, by the way. So as more access will jump back in, down goes Magnus, and I think, yeah, there we go. GG, well played. It is gonna be official. Game 1. Going to Sync Esports here in this 2-game series over Fresh, so congratulations to them. Yeah, I mean the counter to that though is that if you win Shrunken, then if you're Magebane, you probably don't go Harkons and you go like a Wingbow instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Something else. So it's
those also 3 Void Talismans. I mean, also really good pickup. The Harkon's Blade.
Harkons was definitely an awesome choice, not a popular one.